So today we're going to talk about economic development incentives. I don't have slides today like I normally do. It's just going to be a conversation. I kind of want to think of this as like I'm presenting an op-ed to you all maybe. So recently in South Dakota, over the past 18 to 24 months, economic development has become kind of a derogatory term in some circles. As we know, the naysayers of any, whether it's economic development or whether it's education or whatever it is, naysayers are always the loudest group, typically. For that reason, economic development practitioners over the last probably 6 to 8 months, we've made it our priority to flip the script on economic development and its importance in feeding our economy. There's a large push by people in my realm to attend city council meetings, to go out and support some of these initiatives that are coming out of city councils. So especially since Smithfield has come up, and obviously there's people on both sides of Smithfield, at a lot of the Smithfield city council meetings in Sioux Falls, if you've gone, you've probably noticed a relatively big swath of people that probably don't normally show up. It's because people in economic development are starting to show up to these meetings just to show that there's more people out there than the naysayers. And so that's what we've been doing over the last few weeks, few months. And I would say that it's working. Also, the South Dakota Economic Development Professionals Association, along with the South Dakota Chamber, they are combining to do an ad campaign that already started back during session, and it will continue into the campaign season, but they're doing a television ad campaign and social media ad campaign. You might have seen some of the advertisements already, but it's basically to let people know that economic development isn't a bad word. It's a kind of a necessary evil. It's not something that we want to get rid of, I guess, so to speak. A lot of the pushback for economic development, they're wanting to get rid of our tools and our toolbox. And so the ad campaign is basically saying, no, we need these tools to make South Dakota thrive and grow. And so if you watch any TV or have watched any TV, you'll see those advertisements on there. The president and CEO of First Premier, Dana Dykhouse, has been the speaker that they've used in a lot of those ads so far. So if you see Dana on TV, that's probably one of those ads. And economic developers, those ads are working because we were able to kill a lot of anti-economic development bills that came through the House and the Senate this session. And so I see that as a success, and that these advertisements are working. And one of the arguments or phrases of the anti-economic development crowd is that incentives are corporate welfare, that we're subsidizing billionaires or billion-dollar companies, government handouts to companies that don't need it. That is what we've been combating over the last 18 months. That's why I will argue to you that elections matter and elections have consequences. And when people use catchphrases like those, the context goes missing and it scorches the earth. And the people quit trusting the government, people stop voting, and misinformation is everywhere. So what is the exact dictionary definition of an incentive? It is something that motivates or encourages someone to take a specific action. But Chris, we shouldn't have to incentivize billion-dollar companies to invest. They have billions of dollars. They should just want to come here because the business tax climate, which we talked about in my last speech on property taxes. South Dakota is the second largest, or the second best in the nation as far as personal and business tax climate. So there's really nowhere to go except for to the top spot. It's proven time and time again that tax climate is a screening factor, not a tiebreaker. A bad tax climate can kill a deal, but a good tax climate rarely wins it. A well-run business can go into a mediocre tax climate and grow its business faster than the taxes imposed on it. Take taxes out of the equation, and there are a lot of states with a lot to offer a growing organization. Some of us teach our kids about the value of money at home by asking them to do chores and paying them a quarter or $1 for it, incentivizing them to do the chore. How many here offer your students some sort of incentive to do something at school? Couple. So, but Chris, they're kids. Of course we have to incentivize them. We adults are incentivized to come to work through our paychecks. Companies offer hiring bonuses to attract great talent, incentives. Advertising, buy one, get one, 50% off. Incentives to get you, an adult, to shop. My point is that they have to offer incentives to billionaire adults. Let me rephrase that. My point is that they shouldn't have to offer incentives to billionaire adults. Argument is weak. Your economic standing does not determine whether you're motivated by incentives. It shapes what incentives motivate you. Economic development incentives are not cash handouts. In fact, in an incentive package, rarely is cash even exchange hands. Let me say that again. Rarely in an incentive package does cash actually exchange hands between the government and the company receiving the incentive. The monetary value to that company is done through tax breaks that are completely unrealized right now. Right now, wherever that new company is building, your government isn't collecting any revenue for that right now anyway. So you're not out any money. They aren't using your tax dollars to subsidize a single thing to $1 billion company. Even without those tax incentives being collected, a company is still paying sales tax on their purchases, just like other companies. They are paying wages to their employees who weren't here before. These employees are buying houses and new cars and spending their paychecks in our economy. New homes are being built to house these new employees, and consumers buying the company's products are spending their money in South Dakota and a South Dakota company. Lastly, every single other state is offering a slew of incentives, so if we don't, we're just left in the dust. A data center to be built in Dual County just changed their mind, and they're doing it in Minnesota. Minnesota, a state that companies are leaving in droves because of the tax climate. But it made more financial sense for this data center to do business in Minnesota than in South Dakota. And that is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a very long time. That's insane. And it's because of the lack of incentives in South Dakota. If we want a level playing field and continue to see our economy grow and create thriving opportunities for our kids and grandkids, we have to play the game. So I'll take any questions. If anybody's got questions, comments, concerns.